Hey, welcome to Lisa's Attic, Sacred Ways.
Nelson Kawamarish here. I have the pleasure to be sitting here with a good friend and a spiritual brother of mine, Heriberto Warawaniki.
Mm-hmm.
So welcome to Lisa's Attic.
Thank you for having me.
So this video, what we want to do is we want to talk about what's going on in Puerto Rico, after the hurricane. So the hurricane was when?
It was on September 19th, if I'm not mistaken.
September 19th. So you had the opportunity to go to Puerto Rico how much after the...
Probably about 6 or 7 days after the storm hit.
So pretty much right afterwards
right
you were
afterward,
there.
Yeah.
And you were there for how long?
Until December 15th.
So...
But I'm going back.
And you're leaving tomorrow?
No, I'm going to be leaving on the 12th.
On the 12th, okay, but you're going to go back.
Yeah.
So if you can share with the audience maybe what you saw, with your own eyes. For us here in New York, the only access we have is, what we see in the news.
Yeah.
So may say that's not exactly what's going on. So maybe through your eyes, you were there, you can share what you saw.
Well, to be honest with you, this storm was really bad.
Mm.
But on another hand, I'm going to talk on the spiritual side of it.
Mm-hmm.
It's a cleansing.
Mm-hmm.
That's what the hurricanes does. They cleanse the land.
Yep.
And you could see that on the mountains, he cleansed the whole land to the point that it looks like burned by fire, And a lot of homes were destroyed. And but the reality is that our people are very resilient.
Mm-hmm.
And they managed to come back and start doing their own thing. Because sometimes, depending on the government, it's not enough.
Yeah.
I saw some of the towns near the coast. Some of them got completely wiped out.
Wow.
The water, for example, in Punta Santiago and Humacao, the water went 5-6 feet, 7 feet, and I'm talking about waves for over an hour.
Yeah.
And it was so high that the whole town was
Flooded.
completely flooded. So the devastation in those areas are real bad, especially because it came through that area. It went right through Yabucoa. Humacao is right there, right beside. So it was pretty bad. Bad.
My titi, my aunt, I was talking to her about a month ago, and she said she remembers a big, it wasn't a hurricane, I don't think, but a big storm went through Corozal, where I was telling you where the family farm is, and she said that the mountain after that was white, like all the trees were gone. And she says she's thinking that the mountain is probably went to that place again. But it is very fertile land, so the trees, everything is coming back quickly. The people of the island, they're people from the camp, so they're used to getting by, without the luxuries that maybe we have here. So it doesn't surprise me that, their resiliency that they're...
They are very resilient. Well, one of the things is that precisely that, when I got there, you could see how the mountains and the land was, a lot of the fauna and the land was completely messed up. But after, 2 months after that, you can see how Mother Nature is coming back. She tend to do that.
I fear for the people, that went without their medicines. People that are dying, sort of behind the scenes.
One of the things that happened there, though, to be honest with you, is that because of the power, so powerful that this storm was, Maria, they have probably about 68 big hospital. All of them went out without, any electricity. A lot of them got really severely damaged. So, yeah, that happened. The pharmacies were closed. Everything was closed, and a lot of people were dependent on getting their food and medicines and water and everything from the government, and people that can help them. But there were some areas that the only way that you can get there is through helicopter. The roads were completely destroyed. The road was completely blocked.
Are you familiar with any areas that still don't have electricity?
There's some areas that don't have electricity, though. right now they probably about 70%.
Yeah, but
Where
still, that's
electricity,
30%. Yeah.
there's still some of the people in the mountains might not.
How about water, running water? Do you know if that's restored or is there
That has been restored by the
Okay.
government, but let's go back to the same issue. The lines, the pipelines,
Yeah.
the pumps.
Yeah.
They needed electricity in order
Yeah,
for the
so
pumps
the
to run.
infrastructure
And
is
so
still,
the
yeah.
infrastructure still to be worked on. This is recovery. It's going to take years.
Right.
But like I said, our people are very smart, and you should see how much inventive they can be. Especially, they're, we are fighters, we're warriors, so we'll come back no matter what. And you see that in our people. You see that.
Well, I know that you follow Sacred Ways, so thank you very much. And you know that we're doing what we can, sending boxes out to friends out there, and we're trying to focus on leaders of communities so that it's not aid going to one person; it's going to a leadership person that can divide the materials to many families. So if we sent out boxes of medicines, foods, we just posted that we were able to help out Cacique Martin with some money to buy chainsaw blades. And speaking with him, he brought to my attention that there's still many homes where the trees are still leaning against their houses. I would imagine the government's responsibility is to kind of clear the roads for traffic, but they're not going to go into private homes and take care of that.
No, by law they can't.
Exactly. So you're on your own with that.
Yeah.
And
the only thing that you need to think about also is that when things like that happen, we might have differences, but it don't matter at that point because people will help their neighbors.
Yeah.
One thing that I just want to share with you, I remember years ago that people used to sit down outside.
The stoop in Brooklyn.
Yeah. Well, you used to sit down in the island with no electricity.
Yeah.
They bring their
guitars.
Candles and stuff, and they play dominoes, and they have time to chat and talk. With technology, you see everybody, on the phone and computers and the iPads and all that kind of stuff. So a lot of that communication between neighbors was lost. So with this storm, a lot of people came back
together
and started sitting down and sharing their food. That was something that used to happen when I was a kid and living in the island. We share with the neighbors. They invite us to eat. We invite them to eat. If somebody couldn't, we just bring them a plate with food. And that was something that was lost.
The compassion was brought back.
It was brought back to our people.
Good.
And I believe, things happen for a reason, though. And I don't try to say that, this should happen, but, bad things happen with the storm. But on another hand, all the good things also happen.
Good. That's good for people to hear.
Yeah.
So for the listeners, the people that follow Sacred Ways, what would you recommend if they're sitting there saying, well, how can I help? What would you recommend?
Well, I will recommend to connect with people that are already working, and they have the connection in the island. So that way you have a straight line. Those resources going to the right people.
Yeah.
And we have those kind of connections like you guys. You're trying to provide some of those assistance to some of our people over there, and there are other organizations and groups that are trying to do the same. The best way is going to someone that already have that connection, and don't trying to reinvent the wheel, because sometimes what that brings is probably you might lose your stuff.
Yeah.
Because that has happened.
Yeah.
That has happened. A lot of stuff has been lost.
Yeah, we've been very grateful. Every single one of our boxes has gotten to the person that we delivered it to.
Good.
So they've all gotten 100% has made it there. Nothing was lost in transit or anything like that. The boxes were not opened up before they arrived. So I'm very happy about that. So I'm happy to Lisa and I are happy to help out. If anybody wants to donate to Sacred Ways, we'll make sure that it gets to where it needs to get to. I'm very thankful that when you go back, if you have a moment to check on the family farm, I would appreciate it if you do that.
Of course.
And we'll definitely be in touch. And anything else that comes up, please let us know, and we'll spread the word.
No problem. Of course, bro.
Thank you,
Take
brother.
care.
Okay,
From Sacred Ways, from Lisa's Attic, Eddie Berto and Nelson, we want to thank you. This beautiful drum. I'm going to zoom in on this. And again, if you saw this video and you really enjoyed it and you wanted to support, we do have those direct lines, as we mentioned, and we will make sure your contribution gets there. 100% will get there. Much love and blessings always from here in Lisa's Attic. Guys, say wave.
Coca-Cola.